Hey guys, welcome to my new channel, Premium MMA Picks. I created this channel because my friends have been messaging me week after week to tail my picks, tail my bets. People on the forums have been messaging me through Facebook. My brother's getting hit up with phone calls all the time. The fact is the channel's new, but I have been killing it for months now, probably almost a year. It seems like I'm winning money every single week. So rather than responding to everybody individually, you guys can subscribe to my channel and follow my picks here. Today we're going to break down UFC 286, each fight. We're going to try and see where the good spots are to possibly make some money and see what we can do. So before we get into it, smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, and let's break down this card. First fight on the card is Juliana Miller versus Veronica Hardy. Miller is coming straight off that Ultimate Fighter season, the last season there. She won it. She is a very aggressive girl. Pretty much her attitude is the equivalent of a Diaz brother. She comes forward, she don't give up, she throws hands. She's not a great striker. She's gonna get hit, but she will eventually overwhelm you with pressure. She'll get a body lock, she will trip you down, and once she gets on top of you, she actually is pretty good at finishing the fights. On the other side of this fight, you have Veronica Hardy. She hasn't fought in 3 years. She wasn't good when she was fighting. There's just so many question marks around her. Is she gonna be better? Is she gonna be worse? She probably has the better striking technically, but she can't be trusted here. On top of that, the UFC always tries to set up the Ultimate Fighter winners with a slam dunk win to try to build that fighter up. So the UFC wants Miller to win. They gave her a fighter who hasn't fought in 3 years. And on top of that, Hardy is married to Dan Hardy, who was fired from the UFC. So you got to think the UFC is setting Miller up to literally smoke Veronica Hardy here. So the pick is absolutely going to be Juliana Miller. She'll probably not look the greatest for the first few minutes, but her pressure will overwhelm her. She will get the body lock, she will get a trip, and she's either going to pound on her for 3 rounds or I think she might even get the finish. So probably ground and pound finish, Juliana Miller. Miller gets the win. Next up on the card, we have Jai Herbert versus Ludovic Klein. This is a pretty winnable fight for both. All the experts are predicting Klein to win easily. I don't necessarily agree. I'm a fan of Jai Herbert. He bangs, and he's kill or be killed. He's tall, he's lanky, he hits hard. I could see him catching Klein, but Herbert himself has no chin at all. For me, this fight's a pass. I wouldn't put my money on it. I would just enjoy it. I like watching Herbert fight. It's usually a fun, exciting fight. Your safest pick if you are betting is probably that the fight gets finished, because if Herbert wins, he probably puts him down, and if Herbert loses, he probably gets put down. So as simple as that, but to be honest, I would not be putting my money on this fight. Next up on the card, we have Luana Carolina versus Joanne Wood. This fight is absolutely terrible. It is the worst fight on the card. I'm not a smoker, but if you are, this is the time to take your smoke break. The loser of this fight has to be done. This is a loser leaves town fight. They're both coming off losses. Wood 3 in a row. They both look terrible. They're both past it. The experts all pick Wood. They're saying that, oh, she only lost to good fighters, which is true, but the way she reacted to getting hit was terrible. I don't have any faith in Wood at all. I'm going to take the underdog here, Luana Carolina. I'm going to say that she's a little bit stronger, maybe a little bit hungrier. I think this fight goes the distance because neither of them have finishing power. So I think the safest pick is taking the over. I think it's guaranteed to go over. And I'm going to say Luana Carolina hits a little bit harder. She's a little bit younger, a little bit hungrier. I'm going to take the upset, Luana Carolina, in the worst fight of the card. Loser leaves town. Okay, next up we have Christian Duncan versus Dusko Tudorovic. Christian Duncan is a newcomer. He is 7-0 with 6 finishes. He is wild, but he throws with heat. Dusko Tudorovic is a little bit more conservative, well-rounded. He'll take a fight to the ground. I don't like betting on newcomers, but I'm going to go with the undefeated guy who throws heat. I'm going to go with Duncan to win. He has been champion in smaller orgs. Not that means anything, but I'm going to go with the 7-0 prospect. He's a pretty big guy, and he bangs. So I'm going to go with Christian Duncan. I don't think I'm going to bet this fight. If I did, maybe inside the distance. Fight doesn't go to decision, so either guy to finish. But the pick will be newcomer Christian Duncan to stay undefeated here. Next up, we have the battle of the undefeated fighters, Lerone Murphy versus Gabriel Santos, another newcomer. I don't bet on newcomers. I like to trust the eye test of how I see them fight in the UFC caliber fights. The pick's got to be Murphy, but Santos is 10-0. He appears dangerous. I don't love Murphy by any means, but Santos is coming in on 1 month notice. And newcomer making his debut. The pick's going to be Murphy. I'm passing on this fight. Honestly, I have 2 rules for my betting. I don't bet newcomers. I don't fall for that hype. I have to see them first. And I don't bet big on women's MMA because as much as I do enjoy their fights, I don't trust them with my money. They're very unpredictable. The favorites lose all the time. So this fight here, newcomer, I can't bet this fight. The pick's going to be Murphy. Not touching it. Moving on to the next fight, we have Mohamed Mokaev facing newcomer Jafel Filho. Once again, another newcomer. He looks pretty promising if you look at his record. He's 14-2. He has a ton of finishes. Obviously, he's going to be a legit Brazilian black belt. And a lot of people aren't that big on Mokaev after his last fight. I still am. I think he's the real deal. He's only 22 years old. He is a phenom. It's a little bit boring. He's not necessarily dangerous, but he's just such a good grappler. I don't think Filho's going to be able to submit him. I don't think Filho's going to knock him out or anything like that. I know there's rumors that Mokaev has a shoulder injury. He wouldn't take the fight if he was injured. He's got too much pride. He's not coming here to lose. He's not making excuses like some people think he is. Obviously, the money line, I think he was a minus 700. Now he's a minus 950. That's outrageous. No one should be a minus 950. But if you're using one of these betting sites that gives you like parlay builders or something like that, I mean, you don't want to get busted on a minus 800, but I think Mokaev is extremely safe. I don't think there's any issue here. Will he finish? Maybe not. This guy is, like I said, he's going to be a legit black belt on the ground. Maybe Mokaev can't tap him out, but he's going to dominate the fight. Mokaev 100% total confidence. All right, next on the card, we have Sam Patterson versus Yamal Ashmoz. Again, newcomers. Can't trust them, wouldn't bet on them. All the experts are saying Patterson, they're all pretty big on him, but Ashmoz is undefeated. He's tough. I could see this fight going either way. I could see either guy getting finished, actually. Not touching it. I think this fight is a straight up pass for me. I guess I'll go Patterson because he's 6'3" versus 5'9", and they're both finishers. Give me Patterson. Not betting money on this fight. They're both newcomers. Let's see what they got. May the best man win. Next fight, we have Jack Shore versus Makwan Amirkhani. Jack Shore is like a minus 500 favorite. I don't know why. Makwan can't be trusted. He is literally a fantastic first-round fighter. If he gets you down, he can choke you out, and he does have good wrestling to get people down, but he's a notorious gasser, notoriously gets finished himself. I get it. I wouldn't trust him at all, but I don't get this Jack Shore hype. I've I've given him chances. I've bet on him a few times here and there. I've won on him, but he's never impressed me. Like, I'm not big on him. I don't think he's anything special. I know he only has one loss, and Ricky Simone, and everyone's like, oh no, he's the real deal. He's going to be a future title contender. I don't see it, but he does have cardio. I don't think he's going to get tapped out. So eventually he will gas out his opponent, and he might finish him, but just give me Jack Shore to win. Money line, I guess. Money line or pass. I wouldn't bet on a finish, and I don't love Jack Shore, but Jack Shore is the pick. Jack Shore should win this fight for sure. All right, the final prelim on the card, we have Omar Morales versus Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan's another newcomer, another guy I would not put my money on. He has the better record, but he definitely has not fought the same competition. People are kind of down on Morales because he did lose some fights, but he lost them to good fighters. This pick is probably a pass, or my prediction would be over 1.5 rounds. I don't think that Morales is going to get finished. In fact, at these odds, I'm probably taking Morales. At least I've seen him hang in there with good fighters. So for me, I'm going to take Morales to win, probably a decision. Then, like I said, the safest pick is over 1.5 rounds. I'm not betting on the newcomer. A lot of newcomers this card. This card's not the greatest card for betting, to be honest, but my pick is going to be Morales. All right, the main card, we finally made it. We got Marvin Vettori facing Roman Dolidze. Guys, I love Roman Dolidze. The guy is super dangerous, super exciting, world-class skills on the ground. There's pretty much no one that's a better grappler than him. I mean, the guy does unbelievable things. I see tons of people in the comments on other videos and a lot of people saying, oh, I'm all in on Roman Dolidze because he's paying like plus 250 right now, I believe. So yeah, there's a lot of return on him, and he is the way more dangerous fighter. Unfortunately, styles make fights, and Marvin Vettori should win this fight by decision. Marvin Vettori is going to be extremely boring here. He's not going to allow this fight to go to the ground, and he has that concrete cinder block head, so he's not going to get knocked out by Roman Dolidze. Vettori's been in there with everybody. Whitaker, Stylebender twice. He's never even been close to being finished, really. So I know Marvin Vettori can take a shot. I know Roman Dolidze is kind of slow and plodding on the feet. He'll throw heavy hooks. He'll throw some heavy high kicks, but he's not going to knock Marvin Vettori out. He's not going to be able to get Vettori to the ground. So Marvin Vettori, if he's game planning and if he's smart, he's not going to shoot. He's just going to out-jab him to death for 3 rounds. It's going to be boring as hell. He'll out-cardio Roman, and he'll out-jab him pretty much for 3 rounds. So Marvin Vettori should absolutely win this fight by decision. I'm praying to the gods that Roman Dolidze pulls another one off, though. Roman Dolidze is so exciting, so fun to watch, but Dolidze's probably going to gas here. He's probably gone as far as he can go here. Like I said, even if he hits Vettori has that Homer Simpson head. You could hit him 100 times and he doesn't even move. It's like he has no brains to scramble or something. He's just got a concrete head. So I don't see him finishing Marvin Vettori. And the only way he's going to win this fight then is if Vettori's dumb and shoots a sloppy takedown and leaves his neck exposed. But Vettori's going to game plan. He's going to make it boring like Vettori does. And Vettori is going to win this fight by decision. Again, please let Roman Dolidze win. I love the guy. I understand when everyone's saying, I'm all in on Dolidze. But there's a reason he's plus 250. This is not a good style matchup for him. I got Marvin Vettori by decision. All right, next up on the card, we have another women's fight. We have Jennifer Maia taking on undefeated Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill is the favorite here. She looked not great last fight. She did land over 200 strikes, but she didn't get a single takedown. She was stuffed both times by Roxanne Modafferi, and Roxanne actually took her down. So that is a little bit alarming. Jennifer Maia is probably the more well-rounded, more versed fighter, but I don't think she's going to score the takedowns. and she's at a significant reach disadvantage here against Gaethe. I think Jennifer might even have the better hands, to be honest, but again, she is at a reach disadvantage, and her output isn't the greatest. So I think the clear pick is probably Casey O'Neill to out-volume her slightly. I think for sure it goes over. I think Maia is extremely tough, so I don't see Maia getting finished by any means. So O'Neill probably out-volumes her, similar to what she has been doing. Man, Maia is pretty good, though. I like Maia. I like Jennifer Maia. I just wish she threw more. If she threw more, she can win this fight. Jennifer Maia might have better hands even. I like Maia's hands. She's smaller and she doesn't throw a whole lot. For me, this fight is probably a pass because I don't like Casey at favorite odds. I think the safe pick is over. I think they're both tough, so this fight's gonna go long. If anything, sprinkle the underdog on Maia if you're feeling brave. I don't mind that choice. Or if you want to be conservative, over. The fight goes over 2.5 rounds. This fight has decision written all over it. Probably a close decision. O'Neill probably slightly out-volumes her. So take the over, sprinkle Maia underdog if you like. It's going to be a close fight. I'm rooting for Jennifer Maia. I guess Casey O'Neill slightly out-volumes her. It's going to be a close fight. Take the over. All right, moving on to the featured fight of the main card. We have Gunnar Nelson versus Brian Bam Bam Barberena. Neither guy is great at this point. I mean, Brian Barberena was never great. A lot of people are surprisingly picking Brian Barberena, which kind of baffles me. I mean, you got Gunnar Nelson, who is in his prime, at least, he was a fantastic grappler. And you have Brian Barberena, who's a good volume striker, but he has terrible takedown defense, terrible grappling. I don't know why people seem to be picking Brian Barberena here. I think he's just the fan favorite, and sometimes that plays with your emotions, and you pick who you like. I mean, sure, I like Brian Barberena. I ain't picking him. No chance. Gunnar Nelson, it's literally grappler versus striker. Gunnar Nelson's a fantastic grappler facing a bad grappler. If Gunnar Nelson can't take down Brian Barberena, I don't know who he can take down. So Gunnar Nelson has to be the pick. I'm pretty confident in that. I mean, Barberena, it's not like he's a one-hitter quitter, huge knockout artist anyways. He's usually a volume guy that likes to put the jab on you and break you and then drop you and finish you. I don't think that's going to happen. Gunnar Nelson's going to come out with that wide, goofy karate stance. He's going to be prancing around the cage, pretending he's friggin' Wonder Boy Stephen Thompson. But really, eventually he's going to get a body lock. He's going to get a trip. I think he should find the submission. I think a decision here is not the greatest look. If Gunnar Nelson loses this fight, he has to retire. If you can't out-grapple Brian Barberena as a grappler, you're done. Retire. Gunnar Nelson will win this fight. Probably gets the finish, but Gunnar Nelson money line, Gunnar Nelson parlay piece seems very safe to me. If you want to go high risk, to take him to get the submission. But the pick is Gunnar Nelson. He's got to win this fight. All right, next up we have the co-main event, the people's main event. We have Rafael Fiziev versus Justin Gaethje. Whew. This fight is going to be a banger for however long it lasts. It could be 1 minute. I guess it could go 3 rounds. I don't think it's going 3 rounds. This is a wicked fight. I am all in on Fiziev. I put a lot of money on him. And that's not a knock on Justin Gaethje. Like, honestly, I'm a bigger fan of Justin Gaethje. The guy is literally a modern-day Vanderlei Silva. This guy comes and just throws everything at you, and he makes fights coin flips. And when you do that, he gives himself a chance to win fights that he probably shouldn't. Because, I mean, Fiziev is way more technical. He is the striking coach at Tiger Muay Thai. So, I mean, this fight's going to be on the feet. Justin Gaethje doesn't take anybody down. So these guys are going to throw down. If it played into a technical match, Fiziev wins 100% of the time. But Justin Gaethje's not going to make this a technical fight. He's not going to allow it to be a technical fight. So, to me, Gaethje has a chance in the first round of the fight. He has to come in, show Fiziev pressure that he's never seen before, make it a coin flip fight, find that chin, get the job done. That is the only way Gaethje can win this fight. I don't think the leg kicks that he throws are going to be a big factor here. I think Fiziev knows how to check those. I think he knows how to deal with those. So Gaethje's got to find the chin very fast, or Fiziev is going to whoop his ass. Like, simple as that. My money is all on Fiziev. Like I said, Justin, huge fan. Thank you for everything you've done. I love watching you fight, but Fiziev has to be the pick. Way more technical. It's going to be a striking match. Fiziev's the striker, and Gaethje, as tough as he's been and everything, he's been wobbled in every fight lately. So I got to go Fiziev here. If I lose my money and Gaethje pulls it off, hey, props to him. And also, more props to Gaethje too for accepting this fight, because nobody wants to fight Fiziev. He couldn't get a top fighter to accept a fight with him. Justin did it. Justin probably didn't have to do it. You know, they say Poirier's been ducking this guy. Chandler's been ducking the younger guys. So you know what? Justin took the fight. Respect to Justin Gaethje. This fight looks like bad news for him. I'm going Fiziev. I think he's safe money line. I think he's safe parlay piece. If you want more value, go inside the distance. I mean, Gaethje isn't someone... I know he went to decision with Chandler, but Gaethje, look at his record. The guy doesn't go to decisions. This fight should not go to decision. This should be a knockout. Gaethje has a chance for a couple minutes. After that, it's all Fiziev. I'm going to say Fiziev wins by knockout. And enjoy the fight. This one is going to be fun. All right, and here we are, the main event of UFC 286. We have Leon Edwards, the new champ, taking on Kamaru Usman. I don't know how anyone can be confident on this fight. I actually hear both sides, and both sides kind of make sense. I hear the Usman side, oh, you're never going to get these kind of odds on Kamaru Usman. True, I guess you've never got these odds on Kamaru Usman. And I hear the Edwards side, oh, he's never going to be the same. Edwards was at his worst and he still got a knockout last time. Yeah, it makes sense. Both sides make sense. Usman can win. He's got to turn back into Kamaru Snoozman to win this fight. He's got to go back to his roots of being extremely boring to win this fight. He's got to lay on him, grind on him, lay and pray, wall and stall, just kill time, out-muscle him, win by being the specimen that he is. And he absolutely can do that, but I think he doesn't want to take risks here. So I think he's got to be perfect for 5 rounds. I don't think he's going to get a Jorge Masvidal-style knockout on Leon Edwards. I think he's got to be very cautious, and he has to use his strength to bully Leon Edwards. And can he do that? Yes, he can, but he has to be perfect for 25 minutes. He's got to go back to being Kamaru Snoozman to win this fight, and he can. On the Edwards side, Edwards, the champ at plus 200, when he just knocked him out, he's full of confidence. He's in front of the hometown crowd. I get the sides playing Edwards too. Like, I don't know if Usman's going to be the same. I don't know if mentally he's going to be shook, if he can take the punch the way he used to. I mean, he was unconscious, they said, for over 20 minutes. He didn't know where he was last fight. They said until he got in the ambulance, he did not know where he was. He did not know what happened. So that is a serious knockout. For me, I'm not confident on either side. To me, it's a pass or sprinkle on the underdog. I mean, Leon Edwards at plus 200. There's more question marks on Usman than there is on Edwards. I think at worst, Edwards can probably, he might get pinned and outworked and he loses a decision, fine. But I don't think Edwards is going to get knocked out. I don't think Edwards is going to get submitted. So there's more question marks about Usman. I guess I would sprinkle the underdog or I would pass. I'm not confident on either side. We'll see what happens. I'll small on the underdog, small on Edwards, and I think win or lose, Usman should retire. He had a great career. What's left? Win or lose? If he loses, it's a retire, I think. Why would you keep fighting? And even if he wins, does he really want to fight that winner of Shavkat and Bilal Muhammad? I mean, if Shavkat wins, Shavkat's taking that belt. I don't care if it's Edwards or Usman. So for me, this should be Usman's last fight. And I'm not confident on either side on this one. If anything, I'd sprinkle the underdog. Yeah, that's it. Okay, guys, last but not least, here's a quick rundown of all the picks. It's not the greatest card for betting. I wouldn't go nuts. Some cards I bet well over $1,000. Some cards you go small. This card is too many newcomers, too many women's fights. They're just not fights I would trust with my money. There are a few spots, but it's tempting to go nuts all the time, but this is not the card to do it. We'll find other spots in the future. Just believe me, we're gonna smash like we always do. Enjoy the card. Please subscribe and like the video, and let's get it. Let's win some money this weekend, guys. Let's go.